It is 40 years since we last had a Queen's speech by a minority government. It's also potentially 40 years since we last had such a hot June day, with Britain set to bake again. Well, if the experts are correct, it will make it the fifth consecutive day the mercury has topped 30 degrees Celsius. On Saturday, Teddington recorded a temperature of 30.2 Celsius, that's 86 degrees Fahrenheit. On Sunday, Hampton Waterworks hit 32.1 Celsius, making it the hottest day of the year. Monday, though, got even hotter, hitting 32.5. That's well into the 90s Fahrenheit-wise. Only for the temperature to dip slightly yesterday, with a top temperature of 30.5 degrees Celsius. That was at Herne in Dorset. And today we are being told to expect highs of 33.9 Celsius or 93 degrees Fahrenheit, which would make it the warmest June day since 1976. As someone who knew about this early on, got herself to a swimming pool. She's so smart, that Naz. She's at Hampton Lido for us this morning. Naz, you're in the perfect place for a day like today, but it's not going to be like that for all of the country though, is it?
No, it's not. Across much of Scotland, parts of northern England, but mostly Scotland as well as for Ireland today, it is going to be feeling much fresher in comparison, but the south is going to be hot and humid today. It could even trigger off some thunderstorms across parts of the Midlands and northern England later. And as you mentioned, if we get to 34 degrees Celsius today, then that will be the highest June temperature since 1976 in over 40 years. So if it's a hot day, what do? You head over to a swimming pool, and that's what lots of people are doing here this morning. Now, a lot of people here are regulars, but joining me now this morning is Jenny, Jenny, you tell me, you've only just started coming here recently.
Yeah, I just moved to Hampton Court, and I'm triathlon training, so I'm trying to get a few miles in before breakfast.
How long until your triathlon?
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
yeah.
Right, OK, so at least you've got beautiful weather here today. And how's it feeling in the water at the moment?
It's pretty warm. I think the sun's been heating it over the last few days.
It certainly has.
It's not too cold.
That is true, because when I spoke to the general manager earlier, Simon, he told me that they usually heat this pool, but over the past week they haven't had to because it has been so warm. So it must be really lovely and refreshing here right now this morning.
Yeah, it's great. It's hot, warm already.
Exactly. And has it been busy here over the past few weeks and when you've been coming?
Well, this is like I said, this is my first
time
coming down here to this pool.
Right. Well, look, you know what? I'll let you get on. I might join you later on. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks.
And yeah, as you can see, lots of swimmers here. It is looking very warm. Interestingly as well, actually, we've heard reports that there have been gritters out in Cambridgeshire because roads have been melting. The residents there had been complaining because their tyres had been tearing because of the holes in the roads. So gritters were deployed by the council there to fix that issue, because surface road temperatures were close to 40 degrees Celsius. That's on the surface, though. In the air temperatures today, we could get up to 34 degrees Celsius. I'll have a full forecast for you in a little moment's time.
OK, Naz, thanks very much. Naz probably in one of the best places to be in the south today. It's going to be like people soup there later on. She got there nice and early, though.
Yes, indeed, it is going to be very hot today. Not for all areas, mainly across southern parts of the UK, further north and west. So we're seeing fresher conditions with some thunderstorms.
Now, here in Westminster, it's been 40 years since we last had a Queen's speech by a minority government, and it's also potentially 40 years since we last had such a hot June day, with Britain set to bake again. Well, if the experts are correct, it will make it the fifth consecutive day the mercury has topped 30 degrees Celsius. On Saturday, Teddington recorded a temperature of 30.2. That's 86 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you who operate in that measurement. On Sunday, Hampton Waterworks hit 32.1 Celsius, making it the hottest day of the year. Monday, though, was even hotter. 32.5 degrees Celsius. That's well into the 90s Fahrenheit-wise. We saw a slight dip yesterday, a top temperature of 30.5 Celsius at Herne in Dorset. And today, We're told to expect highs of 33.9 degrees Celsius, that's 93 degrees Fahrenheit, which would make it the warmest June day since 1976. So just imagine, where would you like to be on a day like today? The seaside? Maybe by a swimming pool? Well, Naz had that idea first. She's at sunny Hampton Lido for us this morning. And Naz, what can we expect? Not everyone will be baking today.
No, that is true. Indeed, not everywhere will be experiencing the very hot conditions once again. It's most likely across southern parts of the UK that we could get to around 34 degrees Celsius. And as you mentioned, that would make it the highest June temperature in over 40 years since 1976. But yes, I'm out here at Hampton Lido today, where one of the highest temperatures over the last few days has been reached. As you can see, the early morning swimmers are on it already. In fact, when we reached here at around 5 a.m. this morning, there were a couple already swimming. And I've been speaking to the general manager, Simon, here today. He's been telling me that actually over the last few days, because this is a heated pool, they haven't actually bothered to put the heaters on for the pool because the sun has been warming up so nicely. So, and I've been told by the swimmers it is very nice and warm in there. Not that I'm going to test it out for you. Anyway, so there's plenty of people around here today. I'm told that there could be up to around 2,500 people swimming in and out of here throughout today. And it's no surprise, really. It really is going to be a hot day, especially, as I mentioned, across southern parts of the UK. And there were reports that we did have gritters out in Cambridgeshire as well, because it's been so hot on the roads. Temperatures on the surface of the roads have been up to around 40 degrees Celsius, and gritters have been out around Cambridgeshire to put the grit out to make the roads safer, because they've been tearing some of the residents' tyres there. So rather hot conditions are expected today in the south.
Yeah, rather be by the pool than on the road today, that's for sure. Naz, thanks very much. We'll have to get you one of those inflatable unicorn rubber rings for the next hour. Nazaneen there by the pool, resisting the temptation to get in at the moment. But it's going to get hotter still, so you never know. Thanks, Naz.